let's take a look at what we're going to learn in this session. These are our learning objectives, and they're all about how we can use generative AI to supercharge our software testing process. First up, we are going to get familiar with software testing lifecycle, or STLC. Think of it as like a step-by-step guide for testing any software. We will outline all the phases from understanding requirements to actually executing tests and reporting results. Knowing the STLC is crucial because it helps us plan our testing in a structured way, ensuring we don't miss anything important when we're testing an application, say a new mobile app or a website. Next, we will see how generative AI can be a game changer in test planning phase. Imagine you're starting a new project and need to figure out what to test, what you wanted to achieve with testing, and how you are going to test it. Generative AI tools can help you define the scope, like we're focusing on user login and payment features. It can help set objectives like ensure 99.9% uptime for critical features. And it can even suggest testing strategies like let's use a mix of automated and manual testing. It's like having an expert assistant to help you plan effectively. Then we will explore how to automate the creation of test cases and scripts using generative AI. Writing test cases can be a real-time sync. But with generative AI, you can describe a feature, say user registration, and it can automatically generate detailed test cases and even the script to run those tests. This means you can test much more comprehensively, ensuring you're covering all the bases and finding more bugs. Finally, we will learn how to create detailed test documentation and checklists using generative AI. Good documentation is key for consistent testing. Generative AI can help you create test plans, test reports, and even checklists for testers to follow. This ensures everyone is on the same page. Testing is done consistently, and we can create an efficient testing environment that saves time and reduce errors. So by the end of this lesson, you will be ready to use generative AI to make your software testing smarter, faster, and way more effective. Let's dive in. So let's start our new lecture, continuing with software development with generative AI. Alright, so let's kick things off with today's exciting topic, generative AI in software testing. Now you might be thinking, AI in testing, what's that all about? Well, think about that. Software testing is crucial, right? We need to make sure our apps and programs work smoothly, without logs, and meet user expectation. Testing can be time-consuming, repetitive, and sometimes, frankly, a bit tedious. That's where generative AI comes into play. Generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that's really good at creating things, text, image, code, you name it. Think of tools like ChatGPT or image generation you might have heard about. These are examples of generative AI. Now, imagine we could use this kind of AI to help us with software testing. Instead of manually writing tons of test cases or spending hours creating test data, what if AI could assist us? That's the premise of generative AI in software testing. As you can see in the image, we have someone working at their computers, like writing code, or in our context, maybe even designing tests. Generative AI is like having a super smart assistant right there, ready to help this person be more efficient and effective in their testing work. Over the next few slides, we're going to explore exactly how generative AI can be integrated into software development's lifecycle, specifically focusing on testing phase. we will see how it can help us plan better, automate tasks, and ultimately build higher quality software. So get ready to see how AI is changing the game in software testing. Let's dive into words of software testing. Imagine you're building something really cool, like a brand new app for sharing photos with your friends. Before you unleash that on the world, you wanted to make sure it actually works, right? This is where software testing comes in. Think of it like this. Software testing is a critical part of building any software, just checking the foundation of a house before you build the walls. It's all about making sure your software is not just functional, meaning it does what it's supposed to do, but also reliable and performs well. We want to ensure it doesn't crash unexpectedly, it's easy to use, and it's fast enough. See that image? It perfectly captures the essence of testing. There's a bug, that little red critter, hiding in the code on this screen, and the person is using magnifying glass to find it. That's exactly what software testers do. They are like detectives, searching for those hidden bugs or issues that could cause problems later on. And just like any good process, software testing isn't random. It's structured into phases, which we call the software testing lifecycle, or STLC. This helps us organize our testing efforts and make sure we cover everything systematically. Now, you might be wondering, why are we talking about basic software testing when we are here to learn about generative AI in the SDLC? Well, understanding the fundamental of software testing is critical because generative AI is all about revolutionize how we do all of this. Imagine AI tools can automatically find those bugs or even predict where they might be hiding. That's the exciting future we are heading towards, where generative AI becomes our powerful ally in making software testing faster, smarter, and even more effective within the entire software development lifecycle. So keep this image as a bug hunting in mind as we explore how AI changing the game. Let's move on to the real step in our software testing lifecycle where generative AI is making waves, requirement analysis. Think of requirement analysis as the very first stage, like laying the groundwork before building a house. In this phase, we're trying to understand and define exactly what we need to test. It's all about figuring out what the client wants, what the software is supposed to do, and what are the key features. We're basically setting this stage for all the testing that will follow. Now, how does generative AI fit into this? Well, imagine you're trying to understand a complex set of requirements for our photo sharing app. Sometimes this requirement can be a bit vague or unclear, right? Generative AI can act like your super smart assistant here. Again, helps us clarify those requirements by asking us smart questions, almost like a really thorough business analyst. For example, if requirement says user should be able to upload photos, generative AI helps us think deeper. It might ask, what file types should be supported? What's the maximum file size? What happens if the upload fails? By prompting these kind of questions, generative AI helps us really nail down the specifics of what needs to be tested. Even better, generative AI can suggest which areas we should really focus on our testing efforts on, maybe highlighting the most critical features or the riskiest parts of the application. And it can help us write acceptance criteria for user stories. Think of acceptance criteria as a definition of done for each feature. For example, for that photo upload feature, generative AI help us define criteria like photo upload should be successful within 5 seconds on a stable internet connection. So in this requirement analysis phase, generative AI is already proving to be incredibly helpful, making sure we start our testing process with a clear and well-defined understanding of what needs to be achieved. It's like having a super organized and excitement partner right from the get-go. To the next crucial phase, test planning. Think of this as a creating roadmap for our entire testing journey. In test planning, we're not actually testing the software yet. Instead, we're strategizing how we are going to test it. It's like planning a trip. You decide where you're going, what route you will take, and what tools you will need, like maps or a GPS. In software testing, this means deciding things like what exactly are we going to test? What kind of testing will we do? Like performance testing, security testing, or just basic functionality testing. What tools will we use to help us? For example, will we use automated testing tools or mostly manual testing? All of these decisions are made in the test planning phase based on project goals and what the software is supposed to do. Now, guess who can be a super helpful co-pilot in this planning phase? You got it. Generative AI. AI can assist us in drafting the actual test plans. Imagine it helping you write the first version of your test plan document, outlining all the key areas. It can also help us define the scope of testing, making sure we are testing everything important, but also being realistic about time and resources. Furthermore, Gen AI can suggest different testing strategy and methodology that might be suited for our project. It's like having an expert advisor who knows all the latest testing techniques, and even better, it can recommend the best testing tools for the job. For our photo sharing app, if we need to test how many users can upload photos at the same time, Gen AI can suggest a specific performance testing tools that are ideal for that. So in test planning, generative AI is like a strategic planning assistant, helping you create a robust and effective plan for testing, ensuring we are well prepared before we even start writing test cases or running tests. It's all about setting ourselves up for success right from the beginning. Now we are really exciting a stage, test case development. If test planning was creating the roadmap, test case development is like writing down the detailed turn-by-turn directions for every part of our journey. In this way, we are creating very specific test cases. Think of a test case as a mini script for testing a particular feature or functionality. For each test case, we outline the exact steps we are going to take, what we expect to happen if everything works correctly, and what kind of data we need to run the test. It's all about being super precise so that anyone can follow these steps and test the software consistently. Now, this is where generative AI truly shines. Creating test cases manually can be quite time-consuming, and let's be honest, sometimes a bit tedious. But guess what? Generative AI can automate a lot of this. It can assist us in creating detailed test cases and even write the scripts for automated tests. Imagine for our photo sharing app, we need to test the photo sharing photo upload feature. Gen AI can automatically generate test cases like test case 1, upload a valid JPG image, expected result, image uploaded successfully. Test case 2, Upload a file that is not an image. Expected result. System should display an error message. But it gets even better. Generative AI is fantastic in generating test data, including those tricky edge cases, those unusual or extreme scenarios that we might not always think of. For example, what happens if someone tries to upload a photo that is ridiculously huge with a really weird file name? Gen AI can help us create test cases for these edge cases, making our testing much more thorough and robust. So in test case development, Generative AI is like your tireless test case writing assistant, helping you create comprehensive and detailed test cases much faster and more efficiently than ever before. It's making sure we are testing every nook and cranny of our software. Let's talk about the next step, environment setup. Imagine you have got your test cases ready. You have got your plan, but you need a place to actually run those tests, right? That's what environment setup is all about. In this phase, we are setting up the whole stage for our testing performance. This means getting all the hardware and software ready. We might need to configure servers, set up databases, install specific operating systems, and get all the necessary testing tools in place. Think of it like preparing a lab before conducting a science experiment. You need all the right equipment and conditions to make sure your environment runs smoothly and give you accurate results. Now, setting up these testing environment can sometimes be a bit complex and time consuming. There can be lots of steps involved, different configuration to consider, and it's crucial to get it right to ensure our tests are valid. This is another area where generative AI is stepping in to make our lives easier. Generative AI can be a fantastic assistant in environment setup by providing us with a setup documentation. Imagine it automatically generating step-by-step guides on how to configure a specific testing environment. It also creates checklists to make sure we don't miss any crucial steps during the setup process. And even better, Gen AI can provide guidelines and best practices for configuring different types of testing environment. For example, if we need a performance testing environment for our photo app, Gen AI could give us a specific recommendation on server configurations and network settings. In an environment setup, Gen AI is like your expert guide and documentation guru, help you create the perfect testing lab quickly and effectively, ensuring we have the right conditions to run our test effectively. It's all about making sure the stage is perfectly set for testing to begin. For the moment, we have been waiting for test execution. This is where the rubber meets the road, the main event, the actual testing in action. In test execution, we take all those test cases we carefully develop. We actually run them our prepared testing environment. We are executing the test scripts, whether they are automated scripts or manual steps, and we're watching closely to see what happens. Our goal here is to identify any defects, any bugs, any issue in the software. And as we find them, we document everything, what went wrong, how to reproduce it, and what the actual outcome was. Now, how does generative AI help us during this active testing phase? Well, for starters, generative AI offers scripting support for automation. Remember those automated test scripts we talked about? Gen AI can help write and maintain those scripts, making test automation easier and more efficient. But even for manual testing, Gen AI can be a great assistant. It can provide manual testing guidelines, almost like real-time advice for testers as they are going through the steps. Imagine you're manually testing the photo upload feature and you're not sure what to check next. Gen AI provides suggestions or checklists to guide you. And perhaps most powerfully, Generative AI can help test engineers interpret the test result. Think about it. After running hundreds of or thousands of tests, you get a mountain of data. Gen AI can analyze this data, identify patterns, and help us understand what the results are really telling us. You can highlight area with the most failures, summarize the overall quality, and even predict potential problem areas. So in test execution, Generative AI is like your superpower testing assistant, helping with automation, guiding manual testing, and making sense of the vast amount of test data. It's all about making the execution phase faster, more insightful, and ultimately more effective at finding those pesky bugs. We've reached the final phase of our software testing life cycle, test cycle closure. Think of this as a wrap-up party after hard work of testing is done. In test cycle closure, we are essentially evaluating the entire testing process. We look back and ask ourselves, how well did our testing go? Did we cover everything we planned to test? What's the overall quality of the software based on our testing? Were we efficient in terms of cost and time? It's like doing the post-project review to learn and improve for the future. And importantly, we document everything and archive all our testing materials for future reference. Now, even in this final stage, Generative AI has a valuable role to play. One of the key activities in test cycle closure is creating reports summarizing all our testing efforts and findings. And guess what? Generative AI can be a whiz at generating these test summary reports. Imagine it can automatically compiling all the data from our test execution, analyzing it, and creating clear, concise reports that highlight any key metrics, defect trends, and overall quality assessments. Gen AI can help us in documenting our observations and lessons learned throughout the testing cycle. You can even assist in preparing stakeholder presentations. Think about presenting the testing results for our photo sharing app to the project managers or clients. Gen AI can help us create compelling presentations that clearly communicate the testing outcomes, the quality of the app, and any recommendation for the next steps. So in test cycle closure, Generative AI is like your efficient reporting and documentation assistant, helping you summarize your testing efforts, communicate the results effectively, and ensure that all the valuable insights from testings are captured and used for future improvements. It's all about bringing a neat and insightful close to the entire testing journey. Alright, so we have talked about how generative AI can revolutionize each phase of the software testing lifecycle. Now you might be wondering, okay, that sounds great in theory, but what tools are actually out there that we can use? Well, this slide gives you a sneak peek at some of the frequently and Gen AI tools in software testing right now. You probably recognize the first one, ChatGPT. Yes, the same ChatGPT that has been making waves across industries. In software testing, we can leverage ChatGPT for a bunch of things. Remember how we talked about clarifying requirements? You can use ChatGPT to help you rephrase and understand complex requirements. Need help brainstorming test cases? ChatGPT can assist with that too, giving you a starting point for test case development. It's like having a smart assistant gonna help with various text-based tasks in testing. Next up, we have test rigger. This is a more specialized tool built specifically for software testing. Test rigger uses AI to automate test case creation and execution. It's designed to make automated testing much easier, even for complex applications. Think of it as a powerful AI-driven engine for automating your test, reducing the manual effort significantly. And lastly, we have Microsoft Copilot. Copilot is another AI assistant, but it's more focused on coding and development tasks. However, in the context of testing, Copilot can be incredibly useful for developer writing unit tests or for testers who are involved in test automation and scripting. It can help you write code faster and more efficiently, which is a big plus when you're dealing with test automation. Now, these are just a few examples, and the world of generative AI tools in software testing is evolving super fast. But these tools give you a good idea of the kind of AI power that's becoming available to make software testing smarter, faster, and more effective. Keep an eye on these and similar tools as they continue to shape the future of software quality.
Comparing traditional and generative AI-based test case creation. So today's agenda is to evaluate the effectiveness of traditional manual versus generative AI-based test cases creation for the Facebook login functionality. So the tools that we will require are MS Excel or Google Sheets and Microsoft Copilot. The prerequisites that are required for this exercise is basic understanding or knowledge of writing manual test cases in Sheets or any tool that you are using to create those scenarios. So this is our MS Copilot web version of it. So the prompt that we will give here is to create test cases for our Facebook login page. I will copy the prompt here in the chart, hit send, then we will see the output. So the prompt that I have given here is, your task is to create a detailed set of test cases for evaluating the functionality of Facebook login page. The project name is Facebook and it focuses on login module. Your prompt should include fields such as project name, module name created by, creation date, reviewed by, and review date. Outline the structure of the test cases encompassing both positive and negative scenarios to cover various login situations, including successful logins, invalid credentials, and error message handling. Each test case should adhere to a structured output, including test cases and any additional comments, so aim for clarity and detail in your documentation to ensure thorough testing of the Facebook login page. So this is our prompt to create the test cases. Now we will see how easy and fast it has become for us to create these test cases instead of, creating it manually, typing it, everything we can, put AI on this work, and it will get the task done in very bare minimum time. So it has started generating the response, so it has generated the output for us. As we can see, it has created different scenarios or test cases like first successful login case, test to invalid email case, invalid password, empty email and password. So these kind of scenarios or test cases it has created for us. Even the test data, it has added in our, in our test cases that what we are going to do, what are the steps, so everything it is providing us. Now we will ask MS Copilot to convert this message into a CSV format. So it has generated the output for us, so we can copy this content and save it in our Excel or Google Sheets, somewhere like this. You can run it, copy this, run Google Drive, or you can open Google Drive. It's Google Sheets, so let's open this one. We can paste our data here, test case scenarios, everything. We can paste it here and it will get converted into the CSV format like we have it here, right? A bit of change would be required, properly, converted into a CSV format, but if you save it, it will get converted. So that's all for this exercise. We know how we can create, test cases using the MS Copilot.